Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. Meow. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing the Leo Aquarius Axis, which is actually super interesting if you're trying to understand more about the Leo full moon we are currently experiencing as I film this video late January 2021. Throughout late February of 2021, because it's a 4-week cycle after the event itself and a 2-week cycle of super importance leading up to the event whenever we're talking about a full moon or a new moon, right? But it's 1 month till we get another full moon, so we're still under this influence for the next month. Or you're going to be interested in this as well if you are a Leo or an Aquarius ascendant, sun, or moon sign in your chart. Or number 3 reason why you might want to watch this video is if you know a Leo or Aquarius ascendant, sun, or moon, and you really want to understand them more. And another reason is if you are a student of astrology and you are just trying to comprehend the whole notion of an axis, and you mess with some Leos, or you've had some interesting experiences with some Leos, Aquariuses, whatever, this video is for you. All of that to say, by the end of it, we're going to look at the chart. We're going to see, like, just kind of walk through the logic that the ancients used when these signs were kind of like established and what they really mean in their roots of these origin points that are Leo and Aquarius, right? The origin of those energies. What is that? What is that about? And what do they say about each other? This is some serious, like, God versus Satan type of stuff, which is very interesting. There's a lot of like divinity and like shadow, and like we'll get into all of it and I'll show you what's what with the chart. But before I do, a couple quick announcements. Number 1, if you are not subscribed yet, welcome. We do have a video every single day here and we are a growing community. So feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification button so that you are alerted when I upload a video. Number 2, if this video brings you any value whatsoever, by the end of it, whenever you find yourself like, hey, damn, that's good value, I want to share that with people on the internet, hit the like button, because that's how more people will get the information for free. I don't charge diddly piddly for these, so boom, you get like free astrology lessons basically. Pretty cool. By the way, I'm gonna start doing some webinars pretty soon, and we'll have like live groups of people. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be so fun after doing the Astrology WizdomDropz course this last round, and just kind of thinking more about how we can engage as an audience. I'm going to be doing that. So put a little heart or something down below if you're like, oh my God, I'm going to come to those. Number whatever I'm on. And the last thing is, if you do have a video suggestion or recommendation, you can always leave it in a comment. And most of the time, more often than not, I will make you a video for that topic. Beautiful. So Leo and Aquarius, demystifying them. What is this all about? Let us look. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to show you. Where's my screen? There it is. So this is incredibly interesting. Why? First off, not even talking about the moon that we're in under, but as you can see, I'm looking at the sky right now, which is nothing but a T-square, except this Venus, Neptune, Pluto party, which is so interesting. Not even showing an exact degree right now, but you know. Anyway, that's a different video. But what I'm talking about is the fact that Leo is ruled by the sun natally, okay? In general, Leo is ruled by the sun. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in ancient astrology. In modern astrology, we say that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So the modern ruler of Aquarius is in fact Uranus, but we need not ever forget that Saturn is actually the official OG ruler of Aquarius. I'm not saying Uranus doesn't count, but I'm saying if you're reading Uranus and not Saturn, you're missing a big part of what Aquarius is. Okay. And this is the story, y'all. This is the like, you know, get ready for story time, honey, because we're going to go in right now. And Saturn's significance, yo, is important. If you're missing Saturn, when you think of Aquarius, you are missing Aquarius. I'm going to be as blunt as that. Okay. Now, bouncing back over here, just put that on a shelf for a second. Bouncing back over here to Leo. Leo is naturally ruled by the sun, right? And if you think about Leo as a vibration, it's all about sun energy. So the sun, if you're anybody who's ever, been in the glorious radiance of it, which I hope you have, and I'm sure you have, but wow. Like if you ever just laid in the sun and felt the beautiful warming rays, like think of like a beautiful summer day and you just have awesome sunlight and it just feels so warm, like a soul blanket. The sun is like a soul blanket, it's like, it makes your soul feel good. It makes your body feel good. It's fucking awesome. The sun is the source of like all life on earth, literally. Like photosynthesis, anybody? Like the hierarchy of life, like not even hierarchy. I hate to call it that because, like I'm vegan, I'm 100% plant-based. So I don't believe we should sacrifice sentient beings for our own existence. But like plants are the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like they're the base of all life. And you know what's beyond the plants? The sun. And so the sun is the supreme source of the universe as far as we're concerned here on earth, right? Like of our little solar system. Obviously it's the center of, it's not the center of the universe, but it's the center of our little galaxy, our little solar system, I should say, not even. But anyway, so all that to say, like the sun is this supreme source energy in astrology. We understand the sun, which again rules the sign Leo, which is why we're talking about the sun, right? It rules like supreme source energy and supreme god energy and supreme goddess energy. It's really like a divine source of like brilliance and purity and purification and almighty kind of like righteousness. It's like supreme, absolute 100%, like the source, the pure source of everything, the energy of existence. You see what I'm saying? That is Leo, and that is the sun, and therefore is Leo, because the signs, y'all, are nothing compared to the planets. The signs would not be if it were not for the planets in astrology. I'm gonna say it again. The signs of the zodiac would not exist if it were not for planets. Planets are the real aces of astrology. You see what I'm saying? Like all of these little signs are just archetypes of planets is really what it comes down to. They're different manifestations of planetary energies. And once you lock that in your brain as an astrologer, you go through a moment that's like, damn, like your mind's just like blown. And so what I'm trying to synthesize for you right now and moosh together is that this, my friend, is really the sun. When you look at Leo, it's like the sun. And that's why Leos, they can manifest high and low vibrations like any sign. But the low vibration of Leo is narcissism. It's being full as fuck of yourself and not even remembering there's other people in the equation or the room. It's very not Virgo. You know what I mean? But Leo is its own energy, and at a bright side, Leo is so bright and so beautiful and nothing but love. You look at them and you just can't help but love them. They're that like fun and warm and playful and just, entertaining. And yeah, in a lower side or for better or worse, they can be more dramatic. So they're really good at theatrical stuff, right? They're really good at being more dramatic in like better and worse situations. Let's say they could have really explosive kind of like outbursts and really aggressive like burning fire kind of experiences, and they could also just as much have like really romantic outbursts that are super expressive and very like artistically what do I want to say, rock star status. Kind of like Leo at a higher vibration is really about like shining your light and not being scared that anybody is gonna think anything of you because you are nothing but light. So the shadow can't even exist because you're just light so much. That's like Leo at the highest vibration. So it's kind of like it goes along with this like Christ consciousness, and like the heart chakra is associated with Leo. Leo is associated with the heart. So you think about all of that, and then now that's Leo. Now going back over here to Aquarius, and this is an axis. Remember, the point of this video is to discuss the axis. So there's a yin and a yang across every axis. Every axis, if you draw 180 degrees, a straight line, like you can see here, there's literally a straight line, right? In this opposition on this axis, right meow, as we're talking, as this moon is, recently perfected. That means recently exactly happened. It's not exact anymore. It's just after the event. In any case, what this opposition line, this axis means is that there's an inherent oxymoron relationship. It's an oxymoronic relationship. There's a yin yang, there's a complementary. This would actually be yin and this would be yang in many ways. But there's a complementary and contradicting inherent within every axis. Like Virgo is totally not Pisces, but there's a little bit of Virgo that is super Pisces that makes them, in a funny way, Piscean, and vice versa for Pisces and Virgo. You see what I'm saying? So every one of these has a little bit of itself and another. Every Cancer has a Capricorn. Every Capricorn has a Cancer inside of them, but they just appear very different. It's like magnets. They can't attract if they don't like have some type of connection and some type of inherent relationship, even if it is polar, okay, in nature. So all that to say, this is like the other side of Leo, Aquarius. We just got a really good foundation for Leo, okay? But Aquarius, remember I said earlier they're ruled by Saturn, and that's associated with Satan. Prefixes, anyone, just saying. But Saturday ruled by Saturn, just saying. But anyway, with that said, this is an air sign, and this is a yin of the yang, that would be Leo, Leo being a fire sign, and these are both considered by elemental groupings as yang or masculine energies compared to the earth and water signs, right? But within the yang, there is a yin and yang. Like it sounds like Star Wars, but it's true. Because there's an opposite within the same. And that's like the universal law of duality. That's like Thoth, Emerald, Tammuz. Yo, tablets, Tammuz? What is a Tammet? Moving right along, the Aquarius, if you're still here, put me like a smile in the comment box and be like, I don't know, LOL. I don't know. That's a good one. Anyway, the Aquarius part of this is all about being without light then, because over here you have Leo on the opposite side, right? And Aquarius is literally opposed to that. So if you have the sunlight and then you have what is inherently not sunlight, but because of this yin yang thing, we just went through this mind trip, law of duality, there's still a little bit of sun within the Aquarius, because there's a little bit of shade inside the sun somehow. And I guess that's like too much sun will burn you. I guess we could even use that as like a metaphor for the dot within the yin yang, you know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is that looking over here at Aquarius, you get that Leo is all the sun right now, you know what I'm saying? In that vibe, the heart chakra and love and this, that, and the other. But then you flip over to the Aquarius, it becomes very out of the heart chakra and into a more wider stance of awareness. So the sun, I like this that just came to me. Check it out. The sun's rays are very precise, and they're very like radiant, right? They literally exude this quality of radiance. They are consistently radiating in nature. The sun is a perpetually radiating force. When you're on another side of the world and it looks dark, it ain't because the sun ain't shining, it's because the sun ain't shining on you at that point in time. So the sun is perpetually light. Now look at it, and it's radiating light, right? All the time, and warmth and all the things that come along with that. That's Leo. Put that over here. Aquarius is the constant reception of light and the vacuum of energy. You see what I'm saying? And in the process, Aquarius gets out of this like notion, this like proclivity to project, because the rays project, right? And instead, Aquarius is in the proclivity to receive widely and openly. So Aquarius will cast its net out far and wide, and in order to receive what it feels it needs to receive. And because it is an air sign in this process, it does so through socialized means. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many really deep kind of like, what? Like I just came to some new insights talking about that even, but it's true. Because like, think about how the light of the sun does radiate and permeates, and think about how the opposite is always going to have that kind of opposition effect. And Saturn is associated with darkness. Saturn is associated with isolation and detachment. So even though it's an air sign, it's not isolated. It is isolated in a very important way. Aquarius is isolated in some ways, and I might get some little shade for this, and you know what, it's okay because I be the sun. But in some ways, Aquarius is avoidant of the heart chakra. And I know Aquarius heavy beings that might have a very hard time dealing within the heart chakra energy, which isn't to say they don't want to care or don't at some level care. And they show that they'll care through other practical means, perhaps Virgo type expressions of service or justice directed. But it's not heart chakra in its vibe. It's not the sun radiating. It's different. It's a little more detached, because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. They're colder, they're more detached, they're more detached, Aquarius people, for better or for worse. Now, how does this turn into a superpower, and how does this turn into what thwarts you and kills you and makes you weak and suffer? That's the question we're about to tackle. The whole idea of Aquarius harming themselves comes from the fact that they can chop off their emotional heartstrings, comes from the fact that this Leo thing that they're opposed to just becomes so antithetical to like who they even feel themselves to be. Like they are the ice queens of the social sphere, the ice kings of the social sphere. And they become then more concerned with puppeteering and the like, almost like low vibe Plutonian vibe, because it is also a malefic, let us not forget, Saturn. And Saturn before Pluto, you know, he is the head honcho of puppeteering, if you want to get for real. Like Mercury is the trickster forever and always, but trickery of a trickster caliber is not the same as outright puppeteering for the larger kind of like, you know, underlying plot lines of a series of like heavy long-term things. That's more Saturn. So anyway, Saturn with Aquarius in the shadow is going to be concerned with manipulating masses and groups of people that Aquarius symbolizes. Leo is like the god, right? The single god, like all about me, all hail, all worship. And Aquarius is like the audience of worshipers in a certain sense. But it's also like the audience of judges, because Saturn negates the sun through its opposition. And this is where, if you are still watching this video, you're getting so much free value, because you're actually somebody who actually gives a shit about astrology and you're taking it seriously and learning at a very deep level. So hey, kudos to you, you know what I'm saying? But what I am going to say is that the sun and the moon are both negated and both opposed by Saturn as a sign. So take these signs and again, substitute them out for their planets. Cancer's ruled by the moon, Leo's ruled by the sun, and these are both Saturn. So the moon is opposed by Saturn, you see, and the sun is opposed by Saturn, you see. What does that mean? That means that Saturn is literally Satan, because Satan is against God, goddess. Do you see what I'm saying? Isn't that some crazy shit that they called it Satan and it's Saturn opposes this? What the literal fuck, yo? This predates Christianity. Can we just point that out, please? This is at least like 4,000 years old. That's like a very conservative measurement from what my soul tells me. I think astrology is way the fuck older than that. You know what I'm saying? But point being, it's at least 4,000 years old, and this is what it been. You see what I'm saying? So this is how it be. And we knew this before they named that archetype, that Satan, after Saturn, because Saturn is opposing the divine signs ruled by the moon and the sun. I digress. In any case, Aquarius becomes this weird, like, against the grain, like Luciferian against the Leo. And so in a worse vibration, they become very cold and detached and puppeteering and abusive. In a high vibration, they use that objectivity and all of that originality and genius that can come along from this impartialized perspective on things, from thinking outside of this box that is this confined Leo box of goddom, from allowing themselves to push the limits and to go beyond and to advance, where on the outside, Saturn is the farthest outside of the original planets. It's the farthest one. So it's the outside of the box. It's the leap on the edge of what is known and what is not in the ancient perception of astrological planets. What the literal what, you know what I'm saying? So with that said, Aquarius can use that skill of being so far out and being so far different. You know, you hear that expression, you're far out. Yeah, Aquarius literally is. They can use that to their advantage to help solve an inward problem that you couldn't solve if you were too close all up in it. If you were like way too close up in it in the heart, so to speak, using this metaphor of this axis of Leo and Aquarius. Yo, we just went so far into that. That was like a really fun dive. If you're still here, hit that like button because you know this brought you value. With that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.